People here are fucking assholes.
Really?
They're not really assholes.
They're just like...
They're trying to get to where they're going.
They got important places to be right now.
They got business meetings and scripts and movies.
Get out of the way of my Porsche.
We've got stocks and bonds to diversify and whatnot.
They got to be the extras in the new, Final Destination 7 straight to VHS or whatever.
What about on the road, aside from LA?
Just car wrecks, like almost near band flip type shit.
Really?
Every band has that.
Tell me about the last van flip almost incident.
I don't know what the last one was.
They all kind of blur together after a while.
The most epic one was in Atlanta on like wet roads when a guy lost control of the car and spun out.
In front of it.
Yeah.
This is our vehicle.
Yeah.
This is the guy, and he lost control, started spinning, and we looked at him dead on.
Yeah.
Like,
it was pretty ridiculous. Going like 80 miles an hour.
Right, and then he span
across like 6 lanes of traffic, and I like slammed the brakes, and like literally we're 3 inches from like head-on collision with the guy going 80. It's pretty awesome.
That was amazing.
So does being on the road so much, do you guys miss Louisiana?
I
You always miss your home because it's comfortable, Like after a while, living in a van kind of gets at you, especially if it's really hot or it's really cold. You're like, I just want my bed, and I just want to watch a movie and eat some popcorn or something like that. Can't.
I want to do nothing. I want to do absolutely nothing. I want to lay in bed and watch TV.
I mean, luckily for us, like Louisiana is kind of a shithole, but
not much to miss. Yeah.
But I mean, we miss the people, like our friends. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty easy touring a lot out of Louisiana for sure.
I know I touched base on this with you last time when I spoke on the phone, but is touring, because you guys are touring a lot now, like touring this much, is it different actually doing it than it was when you guys were 15 and thinking about it?
No, God, yeah. Well, the entire music industry is different from when we were 15.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all, I turned 24 next week. We're all like similar age.
Happy
like,
birthday. Party high.
And, 10 years ago, like, labels had money, bands made money off CDs. It's a whole different thing. Like, a baby band got signed and had a $400,000 budget to make an album. And now, a baby band gets signed and has $10,000 to make an album. Like, everything's different. Like, it's not as luxurious, I guess, as it once was.
There's a lot of delusions of grandeur that it's kind of misconstrued. I mean, even today with kids, like, oh wow, you guys are signed, you must be rich as hell now.
Like, where's you guys 4 buses parked? Like, our van that we all
that is
share.
double parked with a ticket in the window that we aren't going to have enough money to pay later on this month. A friend of mine's band got signed to a label that they didn't get any kind of support for making their record, and all they got was $200 from the label to chip in to buy a new trailer. And a trailer is like $3,000.
What label? Probably shouldn't say that. Wow. We got friends there.
Yeah, well,
Well, the amount of help you get from your label depends a lot on if your band is doing anything on its own or not.
They're not
take ourselves out of it.
They're not going to, dump money into a band that's not doing anything or not putting out records or not doing.
Well, labels don't make money anymore.
Yeah,
so
if nobody's coming to your shows, they're going to see that.
So anyway, tours a lot different. We're not buses, and we're not on tour with Limp Bizkit, so it's completely different than I thought when I was 13.
But they're getting back together, so maybe.
Fred Durst, give me a call.
Holla, we heard that you were riding around in our town in a minivan, drinking.
Fred Durst was in Shreveport filming a movie or something.
Was it?
Trying to pick up girls at a bar that our friend worked at.
Look at the front of that red hat.
Good time.
So it's all for the movie, right?
Anyway.
I would too.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
My bottom of my foot. Okay.
Whoa. So with CDs not selling, is that a little intimidating for a young band like you guys?
Oh shit. We still get to be on tour and meet people and people always, if you look at the money part of it, not like we're millionaires, but people who like bands always buy t-shirts. Like, we'll always have enough money to not starve to death, but, I don't know.
It's not intimidating.
we don't give a shit.
Especially being on like an indie label, right? Yeah, sure. If we were like on Warner Brothers or something like that coming out, they expect a lot. Like those majors expect a lot of sales from their artists or whatever. But coming from an indie label, you know, especially with our kind of music, selling 20,000 records is a crap compared, you know, to the labels, but to us, that's something good, you know.
Like our CD comes out the same day as Take You Back Sunday, and like if we sell 10,000 records the first week, we're gods. Whereas if they sell 10,000 records, I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers will shoot them. You know, I don't know. So there's different levels there too.
So when you guys were approached by Century Media, what did they offer you versus other labels that would
Drake was there for years.
No, I don't. They're just they didn't really want to do anything. They just wanted to help us like get money to record and help. I mean, whatever time we need anything, we can call like our A&R guy, or like even the other guys at the label, like our publicist or like the guy in charge of computer nerdery. Like they're all like cool people who are down to help or whatever, but they're not trying to like, you know what you guys should do is maybe you guys could like get cool facial hair. I don't know. We've had other bands we tour with, but like their labels actually like has meetings with them about like looking cool and bullshit like that.
Major labels or indies?
No, indies too. And Century, like, there's bands on our label that wear fucking face paint and gauntlets, and there's bands that like dress like, I don't know, 80s rocker guy. There's like, they don't give a shit. Just do whatever you want. They just, I don't know, the owner of the label came to our show, Robert, not like an A&R person even. Like the owner of Robert came and hung out with us and drank beer in the parking lot.
And like there was no one at that show really. It was actually kind of like a joke, and the fact that he still like found something in us that he liked.
We waited till 1 a.m. to watch us play in front of 20 people and went, "You guys are the shit. I'm sending you a contract." And I mean, we were talking to like 6 other labels, I think, but I don't know, plenty of other cool ones out there. But Century were just the coolest, I guess.
They have a really good worldwide distribution as far as like.
That too. Like the album will be everywhere, not just America.
So it's probably one of the main. Selling point.
Crazy. So what if you mentioned your friend's band and how the label was trying to talk to them about like image and stuff? Or that was you. Obviously nobody from Century Media has done that to you guys, but if a label were to come to you guys and do that, what would your response be?
I would laugh in their face.
Yeah. We wouldn't sign to that, you know what I mean? That's why we're on Century.
Well, what are your friends saying to those labels when they say that to them? What did they tell you?
Well, it looks like a lot of bands, like, we'll tour with people, and, like, they're cool, and, like, I don't know, especially if they're, like, a baby band, as it's called, you put out your first album or whatever, it's like, I don't know, we're all assholes and stubborn, so, like, no one would ever, I don't know, we had distinct, I guess, things, like, for instance, we have Krista. Krista's never going to be in the hottest chicks in metal wearing nothing but a snake draped over her tits or something stupid
definitely
like that.
Not doing that.
We're not in any of that dumb shit.
Just that idea, goodbye.
We're not trying to look good on magazine covers, or we just want to fucking play music. And I don't know. I guess we talked to a lot of bands who are like, yeah, we used to let management label kind of tell us what to do, and we don't have management like that or a label like that because we fucking refuse to. So
a lot of times too, it's not like them being like, hey, you have to do this. It's just more like, hey, it'd be a lot cooler if you do this. You know, they kind of get suckered into it that way, which really sucks. But
or even, I don't know, we've had tour with bands like, yeah, our label thought it'd be a better idea if we had more piercings. There's like dumb shit like that. It's like, really? Like, these are like heavy bands too. It's like, you look at our genre and scene as being like the antithesis to like major label. I'm gonna need you guys to get cool tattoos, you know what I mean? But like it's still like that even on smaller levels. So I don't know. It's funny.
I want to talk a little bit about the recording process and stuff. I know a lot of bands nowadays everybody's so heavily auto-tuned and sound replaced. And I know you guys worked with Ryan. What was it like? Was there any of that?
No, Ryan doesn't know anything about metal or like. Ryan had never even seen a drum trigger before, so it was awesome. Like, he likes gnarly sounding, like, shitty recordings that sound good, but are just raw, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, you can't make a recording nowadays without, to some extent, like, that's cool. There's going to be kick drum hits, there's going to be random shit, like, say Mikey does an awesome take, and one part in, like, a 4-minute song, at 1 minute and 34 seconds, he hit the rim, the snare drum, like, anybody's lying to say they're not going to fix something like that, but like, there's plenty of bands who program everything and like sound replace everything, and, like the vocals. Like you go see the singer live and like they're miserable failures, and it's I don't know, auto-tuned to shit and just horrific. Yeah, we didn't use beat detection. Like, we didn't use any shit like that.
I've seen like countless, like especially playing at New England Metal Fest. Like you see those bands that like are like their recording is like the epitome of perfection. Like everything is like so like tight and perfect, and like the vocals are even like heavily processed to make it sound like super brutal. I mean, you see them live and it's like
sucks.
And they take it from New England Metal Fest to back to the garage days. You know, and you're like, wow, how did this even happen?
Anybody, like, I mean, I've not on a huge level, but like I mixed our new CD and record like bands at home and stuff, and it's like even with not much money anymore, anybody can build like get a Pro Tools rig, and you can buy a Pro Tools plugin called Sound Replacer, and like sound replace everything. You can program the drums. You can. It's so easy for bands to like fake the entire thing if other people do it, and then just I mean it comes across live. You know, man, this record's awesome. You go watch them live, it's like what the hell was that? So. Just to answer whatever the question was that we started rambling about.
Yeah.
Like, we use a lot of electronics, but, like, I don't know, if you listen to the album, it still sounds raw. You can hear random noises and just shit that we didn't, like, the breakdowns are just like, you know, like, cut to shit, like, sound machine-like. It's got more of a human.
So did you guys do your take live? Or, like, how was that process?
No, we just did each instrument at a time. Like, we tracked the drums. Like, we'd be playing with Mikey, but we just recorded scratch tracks. I went back and did everything.
Like in, like, just straight takes, or, like, punch-ins?
It's just a bit, like, normally we go through and, like, play the whole song, and then, like, for guitar, say, like, we play the whole song, and if there'd be, like, a part, we're like, let me redo that part. We redo little parts, but it wasn't like piece by piece by piece by piece.
Generally, it was always there's always one of us that wasn't happy with the take that said, I want to go do this. I feel like I can do this better, because Ryan is like literally by far the most like uplifting spirit to be around. Like he was like, you could do the worst take in the world that you feel is like just the most terrible thing, and he was like, man, you were almost there, dude. Let's try it again, you know. And like inside you're like, I think I'm just gonna go kill myself actually in the beach, you know.
The cool thing too about Ryan is like, especially with tracking guitars and stuff, like he wouldn't let us sit down. We had to, like every time we had to rock out. Like we weren't just like sitting there like, you know, breaking stuff with our elbows and you know. Yeah. But we had to like stand up and like almost like throw down in the middle of his freaking living room. It's pretty funny.
Well, it's because Ross, we recorded at Ross Robinson's house. Like Ross didn't produce it, but like. That's the Ross thing. You can like YouTube videos of Slipknot and Korn tracking guitar and like they're breaking shit, you know, like I don't know. Like I said, instead of it just being like a sterile, like lifeless, going for perfection on everything, we want it to be more.
Because even live, you know, we play and it's like
we break shit. I miss notes because I have the guitar.
I don't know what happens to us when we play live. We just go into a different state of mind. We're not really thinking, but we're just playing, and it's like we want, you know, if you're just recording it the way you would, you know. Play it live, I think you get more of a better performance out of it than you would if you were just like even in the vocal booth I'd move around a lot because I had nobody watching me.
For sure.
You just need to, you know, you just, I don't know.
If you're bored tracking the record, then dear God, why are you tracking the fucking record? Pack it up and go home.
You guys said you recorded at Ross's house, and you guys were the first band to record at his house that he didn't work with, right?
Yeah. Oh, he hung out with us a lot, but he wasn't like. He didn't produce it, or his name's not on the record anywhere, but it was done at his house.
Was that weird for you growing up listening to bands like Korn?
Yeah, it was really neat. It was really neat, like meeting him and you know seeing the Vanilla Ice reels.
You guys saw the Vanilla Ice reels?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Like Korn, Sepultura, Slipknot. We got to hear like
The Cure, and that was really neat.
Yeah, just like random shit laying around of like Slipknot raw drum takes. I don't know, just shit like that if you had told me I'd get to hear. Like when I was younger, if you had told me in 1996 I'd get to hear like Korn, like rehearsal shit, I probably would have killed myself. And we're hanging out with Ross and he's telling us about it.
Wheatgrass or whatever.
Yeah. It was funny because like the first day or night we got there, we walk into his house and he's standing there and he goes, "Hi, I'm Ross Robinson." We're like, "Yeah, we know."
I've seen your Korn video.
Thank you.
Did he give you guys any like philosophical talks or?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Every day.
All the time, but I'll get philosophical.
Can you give me an example of one of his talks?
Shit.
If you're just feeling down, for example, he was just one to kind of pick you back up.
Yeah.
The record's already done, man.
Yeah, the record's done, man.
We didn't record it, just gotta finish it.
Yeah.
The day we got there.
It's already done.
You would say that?
The day we got
Well, we were
there.
stressing for time and shit, and he'd be like, look, man, the record's done. You just gotta show up and do it. I'm like, what? And it'd be infuriating, because, well, it'd go one of two ways. Either you'd get into it with him and be like, dude, you're right, and, like, you'd chill out. Then you'd really start to work on it, you're like, what the fuck did he say? We have so much work to do.
It's not done. He actually helped with the vocals too. Like he talked to me about what the song's about, for example, if like any personal things are in it, and he would be like, "Now, what is it about?" And we just sit there and like you're like, "Whoa, why am I crying? What is he doing to me?" Like it's pretty insane. But he really pushed it, and no wonder why he gets so many good vocal performances out of his records. Like for Glassjaw, Korn, for example, like.
It's like what he's known for.
Yeah.
That's his thing.
He pushes that vocalist like to their limits, and which he did for he talked to me about a couple of the songs, and I don't know, it was really cool. Like he really is like a spiritual person. That's cool.
He's an awesome dude.
Stand up, fella.
Stand up kind of guy.
Peachy fucking king. Can I say that?
Oh, say whatever you want.
Fucking shit and stuff or whatever.
And his dog likes to eat socks.
The dog will eat the socks
And our
off of
shoes.
your feet.
What's
And
Carl?
Carl, how'd you know?
Oh, I did an interview with Ross
Okay.
once back, and
Oh, we're talking about.
I know what you're talking about. That's why I wanted to get your guys' perspective on it.
I wonder what Carl's doing right now.
Probably
Eating
taking
fish pills.
Yeah.
fish pills.
Yeah, Ross
Yeah,
would feed him
Ross
like
is-
fish oil pills, so his breath smelled like fish.
Yeah,
He'd
constantly.
get it all over his beard too. Like he just chew it up and it would like pop out like the fish oil inside.
We're like, what
It would be,
smells like fish,
his whole head
Dad?
would smell like smoked salmon.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Terrible.
disturbing.
That's kind of gross, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible. Very gross.
This is a weird question, but like
Stay dangerous.
bigger than mine.
Respectable.
So, what do you want people to know your band for? What do you want to get across to people doing this band?
Do whatever the fuck you want. Fuck the trends in the scene and what all your friends.
Just be
care
happy
about.
playing music. And,
Yeah, have fun. Don't take yourself serious.
yes.
Take the music seriously, but don't be a fucking asshole who has to print like big words on shirts. Say like,
Hey, we do
go
that.
fuck yourself.
Metal
Well, ours is
fuck,
rainbow
yeah.
foil making fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
Not like, I don't know.
Wait, big word? I'm a little confused. Bands that
The big word shirt? I don't know. I mean, it's what they're saying.
It's kind of dying out too, though.
There's a trend.
Well, anyway, point being, don't feel like you should be pigeonholed into whatever genre is currently cool. Play music because it's music, not because it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's still cool to bang your head. You know, you don't have to punch girls in the face, and you don't have to stand there with your arms crossed. Like, a lot of people that come up to us after
Yeah.
shows, and they're like, wow, I had a really good time at your show. And that's because upstage, we're having a really good time. And I think that comes across.
It's shirts
to the
where
crowd.
like, it's like
The
lyrics.
fuck?
Sorry. I'm saying, shirts, well, it's stupid because there's shirts that have lyrics printed on them, and it's like, this is where you fucking die. Like, that's what they say. It's so gay. Like
really?
What
We
band
have-
is that? We offended some band.
What band
I
is
think
that?
that's American Me, actually.
I'm
That's
sorry,
our friend.
but it doesn't matter. Them, all those parts will be do that.
Anyway, well, aside from talking shit about everyone, because we're fags, but
Yeah.
just play music. Like, we all, I don't know. There's so many people just limited to one, not just what they play, too. They're, like, so closed-minded. They just listen to, like, hardcore, or just death metal, or even just, like, indie rock or whatever. And it's like, there's good music in
In everything.
genre.